Hello and welcome back to the channel. I just thought I would do a quick update on Project S80. I haven't really had time at the moment to do a great deal of work to the car. So this is what I'm doing at the moment. I got some new tyres, I'll get on to them in a minute. So while the four wheels are off, I'm just going through and stripping down each brake individually and just freeing off the pistons, the slides, the pads, etc, just ready for the winter. So that's what I'm doing there. We've already been through the gearbox, I've done that. I've fitted a new bottom mount and a new bottom engine mount, which you probably can't see just up above there. While stripping down the brakes, I can't remember working on one of these cars for quite a while, but those discs seem alarmingly thin. So I'm going to get the vernier gauges on them and check the tolerances to a new disc. Some do come thin, but they look very thin to me. So they're on my list to get done next. So as you can see, got the caliper off, pads out. Pads are somewhere there. Not my favourite type, cheap ones. So really, like I've said, I may try and run it through winter, but I really don't like the look of those, so I'm probably going to get some original quality Padgett discs and pads, so it'll be right. So that's that. As you can see, I've got the pads out. I'm going to clean those up. I've cleaned off these slides. It's a bit dark here. Cleaned off these slides, pushed the piston back, checked it's all free inside of there. And over here on the bench, I've got the two pins which it attaches to the caliper with. I just wanted to show you an example of the two of them. I'll put them on this glove for reference. I've cleaned that one up, and as you can see, always take these slides out and give them a good clean up, because that can cause your brakes to bind on. And when you've got them cleaned off, use a bit of ceramic grease. Really, most types of grease are okay, but just ideally you want your proper ceramic grease to put on them, and that way it stays lubricated like through all different temperatures. So I'm doing that. I'll be doing the same on the back as well, as I believe these have the handbrake inside of here in a drum, I believe. So it's just going to be a case of taking off the calipers on the back, freeing off the pads, taking the slides out, putting some grease on the slides, because as you can see, I think it's full of cobwebs still. This car has stood a lot, and the back brakes are a little bit stiff, so I'm going to get those freed off and probably clean out the drums inside by spraying some brake cleaner inside of those holes which go onto the shoes inside. So while I've got it off, I'll probably put a bit of rust proofing around this area, but as you can see, it looks really solid for the age of the car. It's the shockers were getting a bit crusty, may change them, but I'm not going to go wild with this car. So other side, pretty much the same. They're relatively new discs, these anyway, so I'm quite happy to just service the back brakes, but the front ones, before anybody mentions anything, will be getting replaced. But I have just spent about 230 quid on two tyres, as well as the engine mount, etc, so I'm not getting too carried away with changing stuff on this car. So as you can see, the tyres here, it had them on the brand new ones anyways. Cheapies at that. I didn't put them on, they were on the car when I got it, but I was a bit concerned about the ones that were on the back, had some nasty cracking. So I thought, well, I may as well treat myself, get some new tyres, mainly because my ex-partner's moved away now with me son, so now I've got, this is the whole reason I bought this car, because I couldn't afford to run the petrol Mercedes ML back and forwards. So now I have quite a considerable commute every weekend, twice, to pick up and drop off my son. But where they've moved to is quite renowned in the winter for being bad, like catching the bad weather. So really, the sensible thing to do is get 4 all-terrain tyres, but that would have been over £400. Sorry, not spending that on this car. And the 2 tyres that were okay are actually brand spanking new, so sod that. And yes, before anybody says anything, I know you're supposed to put the better tyres to the rear, but let's face it, the ones that are going on the rear are brand spanking new. And I've getting the all-terrain tyres, all-terrain, Crossclimate, all-season tyres, to go on the front. Naturally, the car is front-wheel drive and it's automatic, so I want the ones with the better grip to be on the front, so that I don't get stuck as easy. Yes, I know you should really put the more grippier tyres on the back, but you've got to put kind of economy forward a little bit here. I'm not going to spend 400 quid on the car when I've already spent a fortune to start with. So it's not like I'm putting baldy tyres on the back and snow tyres, so to speak, on the front, because they're cross-climate ones. So I'll bring a one into here and I'll show you what I've got. So for the purposes of filming, I've put them up side by side. I give anybody wrong for doing that with these, because if they fall, you're going to damage the face of the alloy. But they've already got marks on to start with. I can't do any other way. I'm here on my own. So there you can see, these are pretty much brand spanking new tyres, which were on the front, which are going to go onto the back now. Just a standard budget tyre. Not what I would pick normally, but hey ho, that's what the car come with. But these are your new Michelin. Let's find where it says there. Crossclimate. And they're what the class is Michelin Total Performance. Basically what these are, but I call them an all-terrain tyre, but what they say is basically they're a cross-climate. So that they're good for, obviously, grating the snow, the ice, the wet, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you can still use them through summer, and they don't wear down extremely quickly like what winter tyres do. So as you can see, they've got quite an aggressive tread pattern. Remember that they're directional, so if you're doing what I'm doing now, swapping around or doing any work on your car, just make sure to make reference. There should be an arrow somewhere on the tyre pointing you towards what way they go. As you can see there, rotation. So always remember to just bear that in mind when you're doing it. Got these from Costco's. Again, I'm quite pleased at the extra load ones, because these Volvos aren't exactly a lightweight car. And if you look on the date stamp as well, when I found it, which I did see the other day, where is it? It's down one of the corners somewhere. Let's have a look. Can we see it or not? I'll have to pause the video. I found it was on the back. As you can see, 0921, and we are still currently in September 2021. So it is quite nice to buy a tyre where it's actually stamped the month you bought it, because there is times that you go buying what you think is a new tyre and it's 5 or 6 years old, and there's a lot of things out now saying that, mainly for caravans, that and across like the HGV range now and minibuses, that if a tyre's 5 years or older, it's going to be classed as a fail on the MOT. Not for cars at the moment, but definitely for these. But as you can see, aggressive tread pattern, but obviously on the video you can't see this, but just feeling it with your finger, that rubber is so much more grippier, as in like a softer compound, than what these are. So you've got to remember, when it comes to the winter, when the temperatures drop below about 5 degrees to 0, you tend to find a standard tyre turns, it just goes absolutely solid. The rubber goes as hard as concrete, basically. But with snow tyres and these like cross-climate all-terrain tyres, you do tend to find this, even if you feel them on a freezing cold day, they're still very, very soft, and they don't compact all the snow up, because they've got the channels so that they can all come out the edges, so you don't end up getting it compacted and then it's like running on a slick. Because there's a lot more movement in the rubber. I'm no tyre expert, I know how they work, it's just the best way I can explain it. So yeah, I do definitely recommend these. They're not cheap. I think I paid about I'm sure it was about £230 for the pair, but like I've said, for me, that's going to be the difference in the winter when we get bad weather between seeing me son for the weekend or not. So £200, in my opinion, for that is worth it. And before you say anything about the Mercedes, the four-wheel drive, what I've got, that's off the road, because I don't want that getting covered in the salt, because it'll make the body rot even worse than it already is. So the Volvo is going to be getting used through the winter months. So that I will do a better review on these. I've done 100 mile on these tyres. There's absolutely no extra noise, which I thought there would have been. Handling wise, perfect, but I must admit they've been on the back, and I haven't pushed obviously you don't push a car this big to the limits to find out when the grip on the back end goes, but when they're on the front, I'm quite looking forward to, because with those tyres that are on the front, with it being an automatic, if you do put your foot down, when it's wet, on an incline or in a traffic light, you do tend to find that the wheels would spin occasionally, and the traction control will cut in. So that's another reason I'm wanting these on the front. It's just simply for better grip off the mark, better grip steering, better grip braking, and naturally when it's snowing and icy, it's going to be the difference between getting the car moving or not. Yes, I know before the tyre experts and know-alls come on, yes, if you have the worst tyres on the back and the grippy ones on the front, you'll go around a corner and the next minute you know, the back end, it'll be spinning out and you'll crash. Yes, I know, I do not drive the car hard at all in those senses of the way of looking at it. Naturally, when it's icy, you reduce your speed to match the conditions, which I will know the situation here, so I'm kind of aware of it. It's if somebody had done this to the car to somebody who doesn't know nothing about it, then that's when accidents happen. Sorry, my phone decided to cut off again. A few times just done that now. Something else you may notice different on the car from the last video. I had a bit of a novelty plate. I've had it on retention for years, and I thought I would just stick it on the car. Why not? Those of you from down south or anywhere else around the world, you may not understand, but if you're a Geordie, you'll know what this phrase means. Work it out for yourself, in case kids are watching. I don't tend to like to swear on my channel too much, but it's a bit of a good one. If you've got somebody tailgating you or giving you a bit of abuse in some way, it saves you even having to give them the V or the middle finger. It's telling them loud and clear, either in the rear view mirror or directly in front of them. Let us know what you think. Just decide. It only cost, I think I only paid about £150–170 for them. May as well stick them on. So yeah, I'll catch you on one of my next videos. I've got a few bits and bobs I'm going to do to the car. So thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.